Hey guys, welcome to Brokerpreneur Podcast. I am Dr. Ben Spears, the Doctor of Flow. I'm here as usual with the big guy himself, Matt Vi. And then you can see our guest on the screen right now, but we're going to get to him in just a second because we all know that we have to ask Matt how he's doing.
And we all know what the answer is going to be. It's always fantastic. It's another
It's
day in
always
paradise. Right?
it's always fantastic. Well, guys, you know we love introducing our listeners to to new technology, new companies in the real estate industry, and we're going to be doing that today as well. We're going to go ahead and bring on our guest. You can see him there. His name is Jonathan Shah. He's the CEO of Homely.com. And let's just ask now. We know Matt's fantastic. Jonathan, how are you doing?
Ben, I'm doing fantastic as well.
Yeah,
that's the great answer, man.
That's the most popular answer that I get, and I absolutely love it. We're going to ask Jonathan in just a second, a little bit more about his background and how all of this got started. But before we do that, you guys know the routine. Wherever you listen to this, hit that follow, that subscribe button. That lets all the algorithms know that you like what we're doing and that we're doing a good job. Also, remember that every single Friday from 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time, we have our Brokerpreneur Not So Secret Society. So if that's it's an absolutely free mastermind that we do with all of our listeners. We would love for you guys to attend. And we just get on there and talk recruiting, retention, agent production, and basically just have a good time. You guys know how Matt and I are. If you want to attend that, send me an email, ben@prospectboomerang.com. That's ben@prospectboomerang.com. And I'll make sure that you get the invite to show up. So Jonathan, here's the thing, man. I have to imagine that, you were sitting in your bedroom playing with dinosaurs. You were 5 years old and you were thinking, you know what, I think when I grow up, I want to start a company and have a real estate website that helps forecast the future of homes. Is that how all this came? Is that how all this came to fruition?
Yeah, Ben, that's exactly how it happened. No. Yeah. So honestly, growing up, I really didn't have a clear path on what I wanted to do. I always knew that I did pretty well in school. I went to a great school, and then I got into Babson, which is the #1 entrepreneurship college in the world, I believe. But I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur because it's been in the family, but I never really knew exactly what I wanted to do. But in the back of my mind, I always had a concentrated interest towards real estate. Like we were talking earlier, I used to always go on Zillow, go on Redfin, look at the most beautiful homes, always say, man, one day I'll live in one of those.
Yeah.
And then when COVID came to fruition, they sent all of us home in our freshman year of college. And myself and one of my best friends from college, Maxwell, who's my business partner, we both coincidentally moved to New York. So we decided that during the time off that we had from school, we weren't going to waste it. So we put it towards something productive. We met up in my dad's office in Midtown New York, and we got together. Originally, we were going to try to do tax liens, and we were going to try to make a brokerage. So we came in relatively new to the industry, and we thought we were going to conquer the world. And a lot of the learning that we've gone through, we've learned as we progressed. But where we found out and we came up with the idea for Homely. So a little background on Homely. Our core capability is our ability to value and forecast pretty much nationwide single family real estate up to 3 years into the future. So I could tell you what your home's worth now and in intervals of 1, 2, and 3 years into the future. But so Max and I, my dad, he's always been into AI and data science, and he has a platform where he forecasts the values of stocks and ETFs. So Max and I, we saw the inner workings of his company while just sitting here and working. And actually Max brought up the idea Max brought up to me, why don't we translate this data into real estate, something that we all know and love, or at least Max and I know and love. So we independently brought on a couple of quants and data analysts, and we repositioned the data science techniques from the stock market and equities and kind of repurposed it over to the real estate market. Yeah. So at this point now, 2 years removed, Max and I, we raised some seed funding, and enough for us to say, hey, why don't we put college on pause, or maybe never even go back, and work on building out the baby that we really came to know and love.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And that's so smart. Matt and I talk all the time about how it's so important, for our or not only our brokers, but the agents underneath them, to make sure that they're staying in touch with their current clients, right? Their past buyers and sellers, and letting them know on a regular basis, this is what your home's worth, right? This is the direction of the value that your home is going. And I just think, what an incredible tool, what an incredible idea to really kind of make that value add that much easier. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, so I mean, of course I love it. We went into the site and looked around and everything after we talked to Max and before we met you, Jonathan. And man, it's just cool as hell. There's just so much great information in there. Not just the pricing. There's some other things that you do in the site, and I don't want to give anything away because I want people to go check your site out. But there were some things that I saw in there that were just mind blowing. That an agent that has historically wanted to keep their people informed, like Ben was just talking about. What they do is they're looking for today's price. They're looking at the history and they're looking at today's price. What this gives them a chance to do is, from a very smart way, based on data, based on deep learning with AI, it gives them the chance to be able to look forward, right, at what those prices could possibly be. So now the agent is not just looking at the present, which is extremely important, not just looking at the past, which they've historically done, but now all of a sudden with some data intelligence is able to look forward. If you want to be a well-rounded agent, man, you got to be looking at Homely. You got to be in there. You got to be digging around, paying attention, and being able to stay ahead of what's going on with the market when it comes to making sure that because all real estate is local, and just making sure that you're staying ahead of what's going on with the trends in the market, and that's the best way to do it. And again, I don't want to give it away, but it's not just about those house prices, right? There's some other stuff in there that was just really cool and mind blowing. Congrats to you guys. That's it. There's some incredible stuff in there.
Thank you. Yeah. And to what you're saying, really, and real estate, a lot of the data that realtors use is pretty standardized. So when a realtor is giving a presentation backed by data, they're giving the same MLS data, same basic qualitative neighborhood data, like schools, restaurants, landmarks. So really, this is a true way for them to differentiate through data and really introduce predictive analytics to be at the forefront of real estate and real estate presentations and real estate marketing.
Yeah. That's such a good point, because again, it's there. We talk sometimes about it being, a race to the bottom as far as, commissions and all this kind of stuff goes. But from an agent standpoint, right? Because most of our listeners are brokers. Giving your agents, right, the ability to have the most up-to-date information, to have the different tools that allow them to go on listing appointments or go on buyers presentations and say, look, our services are worth this.
Yeah.
And we have all these tools and resources that make sure, we're pricing your home correctly, whether it be to list or, that we're making the right offer, whenever it comes to working with a buyer. Because again, Matt, right, there are three different ways for agents to increase their income. And I'm going to let you kind of reiterate on those things. But from a standpoint of, we can increase those things if, we're increasing our knowledge and we're increasing all the things that we're offering.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll dig into those in just a second. But Jonathan, I gotta, as we're talking about how this all developed and everything, you had some information that you got from your dad, right? He dug into this. You said he's loved AI for a long time. When you were kind of going through that, what was the big aha moment for you that you were like, hey, this might be a good idea? And then you were looking at it and you're like, holy crap, this is incredible. What was that moment that you just kind of realized, you were like, oh my gosh, what this can do and how this can help and how this can impact the market and the industry as a whole? What was it that kind of pushed you across that? Because at some point it was like, you didn't know it and you weren't sure, and then something happened and you were like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely huge. When was that moment? Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. Just thinking about it, it really was when I checked out the competitive landscape when it came to the forecast in real estate. So it's relatively small, but our one of our larger competitors, they predominantly catered to larger institutions and like institutional investing or mortgage underwriting, while we saw that there was a wide open direction to democratize the data to the retail, to the everyday home buyer and home seller, but also to the agent and to the real estate agent. So when we dug a bit deeper, and we really we're weighing out the applications of the data, we saw that the property forecast could really empower and drive a realtor's marketing campaigns. So we did a number of like preliminary marketing discovery campaigns on Facebook and Google, and the statistics that we garnered through those campaigns really delineated the find the future value as a mousetrap or as an effective marketing hook. So now if you're a realtor, a lot of these realtors currently use home valuation tools on their website or landing pages to get leads. So the issue that I have with that is that essentially, if you're putting a Facebook ad that says, find the value of your home, if I'm the consumer, if I'm an educated home buyer or seller, I know that data is ubiquitous and free on Zillow or Redfin. So rather than fill out your lead form, I would go on Zillow or Redfin and just look it up. The future value is something that's not available in the consumer-facing market, and it will move the needle when it comes to getting potential buyers and sellers to fill out those forms.
Yeah, completely agree. And that kind of dovetails back into what Ben was asking just a second ago, about the three ways that a real estate agent can make more money on a real estate commission whenever they earn it, right? There's three ways. Every agent knows that if you negotiate a higher commission split for yourself with your broker, you're going to make more money on that commission dollar that comes in, right? But there's two other key ways that a lot of people don't lean into because it takes more expertise to be able to do it. One of them is to raise your average sales price, and that's the one I want to focus on the most. If I'm an agent and I had Homely, I can now go look at a bunch of different neighborhoods and see what the trends are of what's happening price wise. And I might be able to start working in those neighborhoods because I know the direction the average sales price is going. Now everybody else and their brother is all working out of ABC, Oak Brook neighborhood or whatever it happens to be. But if I go look at this information and this data and I say, wait a minute, there's a lot of people and a lot of trends for some reason. This is actually growing at a better rate. I need to go start marketing in that neighborhood.
Hey guys, this episode of the Brokerpreneur podcast is brought to you by the Speculo Group. The Speculo Group is the turnkey solution for agent and brokerage lead generation. With a focus on generating the highest quality leads from platforms like Google, YouTube, Facebook, and more, the Speculo Group is your one-stop shop to dominating your local market and beyond. Visit their website for more information at thespeculogroup.com.
That's going to allow me to get a higher average sales price 6 months or a year from now. So literally at the time that I'm putting my effort into getting a certain yield or a certain return out of a neighborhood, I'm actually peaking at the same time that the neighborhood is, right? So as I'm starting to get the return on my investment because I put advertising in there, all of a sudden everybody else is going to be playing catch up, because by the time my listings are popping up and by the time my prices and everybody sees what's going on, I'm already dominant in that market. I'm already staying ahead of that trend. And you know what I'm doing? I'm looking for the next neighborhood. I'm marketing in that one. I'm paying attention to it, but now I'm going to go use that same system and I'm going to go to 2 or 3 neighborhoods. So everybody else is playing catch up with me. And the whole time I'm getting more commission dollar. And the reason why is because one, I got a decent commission split, but two, because the average sales price, I'm able to forecast where it's going, and I'm marketing ahead of time in those neighborhoods. Now, all of a sudden I'm the boss that's leading the pack instead of the guy that's figuring it out because they happen to be doing CMAs that are 6 months, that are relying on data that's 6 months old, right? So from a big picture standpoint, I love the direction that this is able to take an agent when it comes to them being able to put more money in their pocket. Now You guys, your consumer though is really the broker, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's really who is the best person to utilize this program. Is that right?
Yeah. So we have two different ideas that we're running through right now. So we use this data to help realtors and brokers generate leads. So really like pertinent to our lead generation, if the broker does broker level marketing and funnels out leads to agents within the brokerages, then we would definitely be able to build landing pages with the data and do lead generation for the broker at the broker level. But also if the realtor does it themselves, which I definitely, one thing is I encourage realtors to generate leads because that's the most effective way to really scale your business because you could go to your local network, and then once you already use up those resources, then that's really the next step you have to do to build prominence in an area, in my opinion. So the realtor at the realtor level, they can generate leads too. It's very similar processes on both ways.
Yeah, I love that. And so Ben, from a big picture standpoint, right, in lead generation and getting the agent positioned the right way in front of the market. How does an agent, from a digital media standpoint, how would they really take this tool and how would they get it in front of people and get it in front of the right people and make sure that they're getting the attention through either social media off their website or something like that? Is video the key way of doing this, you think? Is that really how they would lean into this to make the most of it?
Yeah, so I think I can think of, 100 different applications as far as using this. Of course, I'm a fan of video. By all means, just piggybacking a little bit up there on Jonathan, what Jonathan was saying, as far as, running an ad, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, however you, whatever platform you're most prominent on, about, get the future value of your home. Yeah, I think that's really cool. I think a lot of people click on that, and I think that's, easily generated. Now, when it comes down to, we'll say grassroots level, right? There's edutainment, infotainment, as Matt and I like to say, where a person can just pick up their phone, they can shoot a video, and again, and I understand, like, from a lead gen standpoint, spectacular, but just think about taking a quick video and sending that to every past buyer and seller that you've ever worked with, right? Or taking that and sending that to each person within your network. Number one, they're gonna share that, right? And so, the way that referral process, falls down is everybody knows 200 people, right? And that kind of thing, and they know 200 people, and so on and so on. Homely is cool enough to where when someone sees it, they're gonna, as a buyer and seller, they're gonna say, whoa, you should go check this out. They're gonna tell their neighbors, and they're gonna say, where in the world did you hear about this? Or maybe they don't even ask. They're gonna say, hey, my agent sent this to me. This is really cool. Now, there's so much talk about basically just online advertising, and I'm trying to kind of stay off of that because there's a lot of content that everybody can find on generating leads that way. But if you think about it again, just from an agent standpoint, and they're meeting people, the traditional business card, like, very few people, I'm going to use this remote and we'll pretend it's a business card. Very, very few people, necessarily just hand out a card anymore, because there's not a tremendous amount of value in that card. You can find agents' information nearly anywhere and everywhere. It's on yard signs. It's, sometimes it's on billboards. You can just Google it. It's almost everything's on realtor.com, that kind of thing. But if you really want to set yourself apart, as a broker, as an agent, from a broker, from a recruiting standpoint, or an agent from a buyer and seller standpoint, lead gen, imagine having like a QR code on your business card that, drives, and it just says, find the future value of your home. Right.
Yeah.
Check that out. And who's going to throw away that business card, or maybe they're going to take a picture of it or something like that. But they're going to remember where that came from, and they're going to want to share that. So there's just a lot of different applications from a marketing standpoint that I could see that, maybe wouldn't even require online ads and leads and ad spend, that kind of stuff, going forward.
Yeah. The business card idea is super cool. We've actually had meetings where, like, internal meetings where we've thought about doing stuff like that.
Mhm.
So yeah. To your point, there's a number of, like, it's a broad spectrum of application of this data as a marketing tool. We talked about, we built out email campaigns that, let's say that you have a Rolodex of previous clients that you've worked with, and you're trying to keep them engaged and really be at the forefront of their minds when they're thinking about realtors. You could send them this as a refresher. You could do the business card, and yeah, really, if we're partnering with a brokerage at a high level and running their brokerage marketing, we could get together and talk about nuanced solutions to where if they have an idea of something they want to do, like even postcards or you name it, then we can accommodate.
Yeah, that's so killer. That's the cool thing about this. Whenever I was looking through the site, there's so many different applications, because it's not just about valuations. This is about people planning in the life cycle of home ownership. That's really what this is about. This is about them making a smart decision on the house that they're purchasing, or making a smart decision on whether they keep the house that they're in. This is helping them with more than just, did I make some money on this house, right? This isn't about a flip, although it would help with that. This isn't just about a flip. This is about really them planning on how to maximize the equity in a property, and having, not necessarily a crystal ball, but having a really good idea of how they can forecast for that. So that's super killer. So Jonathan, tell us, right, so what's on the horizon, right? Kind of give us a little bit of a peek, right? I know you guys have some other things going on, some other things that you're thinking about of ways to, launch this and deploy this, and, put a teaser out there for us, because we want it to be heard here first on Brokerpreneur podcast, right? Put a teaser out there for us, a little bit about what you guys are thinking going forward. Is there additions to this platform, or do you have some other plans on other things that you want to do? Tell us a little bit about the future of where Homely's going.
Yeah. So when it comes to the future, we're really, every day we're working with our team, we're analyzing the unstructured data we have, and we're just thinking, what are ways that we could take this data and present it in a digestible manner for realtors, productize it better for realtors, or for property investors, home buyers, or home sellers. One thing that we thought about for property investors was that we're going to take the data that we have, maybe find one of the highest growing neighborhoods in the country, and then sell lists of the top 100 properties on the market that we think are prime for growth within those neighborhoods, to really do the heavy lifting for the investor. And for the realtor, we're always just shooting off ideas on how we could help them, how we could better fit. I love the business card idea. We definitely gotta touch up on that. Maybe that's next up in the horizon. Maybe that's the one.
I love it. Way to go, Ben. There he goes, Ben.
Yeah, you
Ben,
got it,
keeping the
Ben.
flow going, baby.
All right. I'll just I'll give you my address for the check.
Yeah.
I love having those conversations for sure.
Cool deal. So we always, as always, we want to be super respectful of everybody's time, right, Ben?
Yep, absolutely. So, Jonathan, we have to ask, there's going to be people who are listening there. You say, listen, I just got to connect with this guy or learn more about what he's doing or what's going on. What are the best ways, knowing that obviously I'm going to put all this in the description below? What's the best way for a listener to either reach out and get connected with you or learn more about Homely?
All right. Well, I'm definitely open to connecting with anyone, any realtor, any broker, if they want to pick my brain or ask me any questions. So the best way to connect would be through my email. Hopefully I have like a bunch of emails coming in after this, but Jonathan, JONATHAN at Honely, HONELY.com, or my LinkedIn, Jonathan Shah, Shah, SHAH. Hopefully I spelled my name right. No, I know I spell it.
No, for sure. Well,
Yeah.
guys, I'll make sure that both of those links, well, the email address, not a link, but the email address, as well as just a link straight to his LinkedIn profiles in the description below. And that will make it that much easier for you guys to connect. And Jonathan, man, we're just so grateful. We love meeting, entrepreneurs, especially, young and bright ones, just like yourself, really just launching super cool products. That's always amazing. And it gives me really somebody to talk to other than Matt, which is just incredible.
Yeah. It's a smaller circle, but I've had a lot of fun, and I'm super grateful that you guys decided to have me on. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely. And we want to have Max on too. What we'd love to do is have both of you guys on and talk a little bit more about this. I think that would be incredible to do as well. So maybe we can have you guys back on and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we'll get a round 2 going.
Yep, there we go. Love it.
Yep, absolutely love it. Well, guys, I love Matt, right? I say it, Matt gets all silent when I say, and it makes me feel bad. So I got to come out here and I got to say, everybody knows I love talking to Matt. He's shaking his head. People aren't watching. Wherever you listen to this, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, any of those platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. If you're watching us on YouTube, what's up? Hit that red subscribe button, that red bell right beside it. You get notified every time we drop a new episode. There's absolutely no better time than the present. And then go check out homely.com and then go check out brokerpreneurpodcast.com and see all the cool things that we have to grow your brokerage, no matter what phase or stage of the business that you're in. Jonathan, thanks again for coming on. We really appreciate that. And Matt, we do all these podcasts, bring on amazing guests just like Jonathan for one reason and one reason alone. And tell them why that is.
Because we want to forecast their win. How about that?
Yeah, even better. I like it. See you guys.
See you guys. Thanks.
Yeah.